What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about the overall state of affairs with the crypto markets right now. I want to put us on a red alert. I think that's probably what the title will be, something like that. Let's look at the Bitcoin price, okay, BTC USD, and just check it out right now. To me, I don't know about you guys, but it seems as if the floor is giving way and we are going to go lower. I don't anticipate that we're going to see prices dramatically lower. I don't think that we're going to see this overall 30% plus drop that some people are calling for, right? From a high to a low, 30% would take us back below 80K. We'd be below 76K even, right? The reason why people are calling for a 30% drop or more in a Bitcoin bull market is because that's what we generally see. Generally, Bitcoin does correct 30% or more in Bitcoin bull markets, right? But also, generally speaking, Bitcoin does not correct for longer than 3 months, right? It's in a correction phase right now for 3 months. So I think that we are coming to the end of this phase. I think this breakout is not going to be a breakout. It's going to be a fake out, and we will give it back up to the upside here. But I do think instead of going down 30%, I think what we're going to do is find support either at this wicking low of this overall phase or at the closing low here, something between $88,000 to $85,000 is I think what we're going to see. Now, what that means for Bitcoin is that, you know, from the current price, we're going to drop 6% to 10%, something like that. That would imply that the rest of the market at least drops double that. Generally, if Bitcoin drops 5%, the average coin drops 10% or more. So what this would be then would be something of like a 13%, 14% drop across the board to maybe a 20% drop across the board, something like that. You could see more. There are some coins that I think will drop 30%, 20 to 30%, at least like a 15% drop is what I would expect for the average crypto across the board. Now, is every crypto going to drop? No, I don't think so. But there are coins that have led the pack recently, and I'm going to go over them now. Let's go over XRP. XRP right here. Led the pack, had a phenomenal run. This was an above average move for this time frame that we saw for the average crypto. I believe XRP looks like it wants to revert back down to about the $2 level, right? $2, $2.10, $1.97, something like that. To revert down there, that's about a 16% drop, right? And we've been talking about this for the past couple of days. Back here, it would have been a 20% drop. And that's what I was saying was we'd see a 20 to 30% drop. Now that we've moved down a little bit, looks like if everything's down 6%, maybe it's only a 15% drop or less, or maybe a 20% drop or so. I would think XRP drops, you know, anywhere from about 20% at the most to 15% drop, 15% at the least. XRP being a market leader, it absolutely is. Don't deny it. If you hate it, it's okay if you hate it, but don't lie to yourself. It is a market leader. It absolutely is. If you don't believe that XRP is a market leader, then I don't believe you've been in more than one crypto bull run. Like, this is your first crypto bull run, right? It absolutely is a market leader this time. And if this leader is having weakness, I would assume that's an implication of the rest of the market as well. And in fact, XRP, this chart is what got me so friendly with this market-wide drop, right? This is probably a large reason because I've seen it enough times where everything looks good, but there's a couple of charts, couple of key charts, key cryptos that look sick, that look like they might go down. The rest of crypto is not going to move up if this thing moves down. Absolutely not. And it's not Bitcoin. I'm not saying that, but if it's a key mover in this space, moving down could be a key indication that we're about to move down as well. HBAR is another one, right, that we saw had a very explosive movement up, and this one also looks like it wants to go down to about 15, maybe just below 15 cents at the most, down to like 12 cents, something like that. From here, from its current price, that would be about a, well, at a minimum, if we were to go to those highs there, that's a 21% drop to potentially something that's as much as a 14% or 40% drop. You guys, 20 to 40% drop on the way for HBAR, and this was a market leader as well. It doesn't have as high of a market cap as XRP does, but still, if this is going to drop 20 to 40%, your coins are probably going to drop 20 to 40% as well. That's my expectation. And maybe HBAR only drops 15% from here. I don't think so, but it's possible. 15%. I guess I'd give you a double bottom. Maybe you do only drop 15%. If you go lower than this low, though, 20% to 40% is on the table. And if that's for HBAR, that's probably for your coin too. Algorand, even though a lot of people didn't talk about it, you know, I just figured this out today myself, how much it pumped. I wasn't really aware of how much it pumped, but this thing pumped hardcore too. And I think Algorand's going lower too. Where do I think Algorand's going to? It's 236 right down here, which is about a 20% drop, right? And I'm showing that we can do XLM too, Stellar Lumens, right? This is another key one that was moving up, moved up a lot. Looks like it wants to move down. We had all the opportunities to move up. If we see a double bottom like HBAR potentially, that's a 15% drop right there. And if we go lower, maybe to our closing high of this mini consolidation phase, that's about a 30% move. We take a relative low here to a relative high there. That puts us right at our golden ratio, our golden extension right there. So 15%, 30%, even a 40% drop, right? Anything and everything in between. We're on red alert, you guys. We're on red alert because I really do think that Bitcoin is about to tank. I think that we're about to see what I've been not expecting, but theorizing could happen, and just putting out there, because it does happen. I think I said these exact words. I'm going to paraphrase myself, okay, to the best of my abilities. What I said was, I don't expect a flash crash to happen in Bitcoin and the rest of crypto. I expect that we're going to rip. But oftentimes, it's when you don't expect a flash crash to happen, that's whenever it happens. When everybody's expecting that we'll rip, or that there's upside, we're going to break out of a trend to the upside, and we do break out and we do move up to the upside inevitably. Sometimes what we see first is a flash crash down, and then we move up. Sometimes before crypto can be the most bullish that it can be, it has to be the most bearish that it's been in a second. And it's very common. I mean, we can go back and look in Bitcoin's history just real quick, just to find some examples. BTC USD, right? COVID crash last year, that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking, but kind of, I guess that can be applied. If we look here, right, we go all the way back. Let's see. I mean, here, this is kind of a good example. Kind of, you're holding this as support. You need to hold this as support. Imagine everybody back here, me probably as well. You need to hold this line of support. If not, you're going to go down. And you had a flash crash, and that was it. It was over as soon as it happened. It took a while to consolidate and break out of it, but it was over as soon as it happened, right? And you broke this quote-unquote key area. People probably thought the bear market was back on. I might have even been bearish down here. I don't remember. Check the videos from back there if you want. But we started moving up from there, right? That was it. That was it. Here, in this consolidation phase, obviously hindsight, that was the low, so we have nothing to worry about. We know that now. But imagine before this low. Imagine that we're sitting before that even existed, right? We're looking at the chart and it's like this, okay? And there's no history. You would probably think if Bitcoin goes below this low, you guys, we're in trouble. We're going to see lower prices, right? You would probably think that. At least I feel like that, right? Just being honest with myself. And then you see whoa, I didn't know that's what would happen. Damn. Oh well, that's okay. We'll go all the way back. And then you see it drop below this low. It has a flash crash and then immediately gives it back up, right? Before we moved higher, before we broke out of this range to the upside, we had to break out to the downside. And this is kind of, this exact maneuver is what I'm expecting to happen. This is exactly what I'm expecting to happen. I wonder even, from this low point here to the low there, that was about a 12% drop overall. So something of a similar magnitude even, right? We keep going. Right here, we're at the end of the bear market. Same kind of idea. We're at the end of the bear market. You gotta hold this low. If not, you guys, we're gonna see Bitcoin go below 10K. We're gonna, like all these predictions, stuff like that. And we did. We finally flash crashed down, but that was it. Bitcoin loves to do this, and of course, you could just say, well, it's gonna consolidate, and then once it breaks, it's gonna have a breakout move. Yes, that's essentially what we're identifying. Essentially, yes, but more so than that, even more over than that, it's kind of the way that we break out of these consolidation phases, and then we continue afterwards, right? Like here, before you moved up, you had a little mini flash crash here, mini flash crash right there before you moved up. Overall, in an uptrend, I hope that these examples are at least sticking with people. I don't know. I'm just talking at this point, but I think I've made my point. I hope I've made my point. I hope it's clear as to what I'm expecting. This is a red alert. What would it be? Bravo, Tango, Delta, red alert. BTD, buy the dip. BTFD, would that be Bravo, Tango, Foxtrot, Delta? We're going to do that. It's a red alert. Crypto's about to drop alert. I don't know what else to say, guys. Bravo, Tango, Foxtrot, Delta, buy the effing dip. BTFD. Don't be scared of it. Be prepared for it, okay? I'm not selling any of my cryptos, right? I've sold some short-term positions. That's it. All of my long-term bags. If I had 100% of my value in life, as far as money goes, as far as cash goes, 95% or more, probably more, is in crypto. It's in crypto still. I'm not selling, even with this drop to be expected, because even though I'm anticipating this drop, I could be wrong. I'm a human being. I've got, I've been in the markets for, this is my third bull cycle. I've been doing technical analysis for 8 years. I could be wrong. I could still be wrong, right? It doesn't matter, right? I'm only saying this. I'm only expecting this drop because of my experience in the bull markets, right? That's why I'm thinking this. But even with that, I can still be wrong. So that's why I'm not selling all my cryptos. That's why I'm not panicking at this. I'm relishing in it. It's going to be fun to watch it drop, and then any short-term positions, any extra cash you have on the side, you can throw it in on this next drop. This isn't a panic sell video. This is a hold the line, wait to buy video. We're going to have an opportunity here soon, and it's probably instead of a end of month pump that we were looking for in February, it's looking like we're going to get a end of month dump, and that's okay. That's okay for whatever reason. But on that note too, having a red February will likely give us 2 red months in our last year of the bull cycle. And you guys know my theory on that, right? I believe that every bull cycle, the last year is the most bullish year, the most phenomenal year that you see. Let's end the video on this note, okay? If we see this, the last year, okay, from a high here to the 12 months before, if you looked at these 12 months before, only 1, 2, 3 of them were red. One of them was actually green. This one says plus 3% up there. You can see in the percentages, plus 3%. So really it's 2 that were red. 2 were red in the last 12 months here. 12 months back, I mean, hell, you could go 15 months back. Only 3 were red. Only 3 were red in the last year, okay? You do it here again. End of the cycle, not the cycle high, but the end of the cycle. That was the end of the cycle, right? It's just like this was not the beginning of the bull cycle, or this was not the beginning of the bull cycle. It was the end of the bear cycle, but that was the beginning of the bull cycle, not the end of the bear cycle, right? This was the end of the bull cycle, not this here, okay? 12 months back, you go again. You can see. Come on, if I can get it there, right there. 12 months, 1, 2, 3 months were red, right? Oh, oops, I was at the wrong high. 3 months were red. One here at the high, 2, 3 months were red. Right here, 1, 2, 3. Over here, on the last 12 months, just 2. Just 2 were red. Here, 2 were red as well. So here, assuming that we have 12 months or less, and I think that we do have 12 months or less, probably less than 12 months. I'm assuming that the cycle ends in October for Bitcoin. You know, if we do that consideration there, that would mean that out of these 12 months, we've already got 2 red months underway. Unless, of course, I'm wrong. Unless, of course, we don't break out of this bearishly over the next week. Unless, of course, the next 4 days, 8 hours, we do see this phenomenal finish to February that I was thinking we would get all along. And, of course, as soon as I say, nope, we're not doing that anymore, I relinquish my calls. Watch it go to 130K now. I should have just stuck with it. But, no, I think that it will be red. That'll be 2 red months in our last 12 months. Hopefully that means, you guys, that we have a lot of bullish prospects ahead. We're going to have like a quarter or a half year of nonstop green month after month. So hopefully that's what we have to look forward to, right? In the midterm, in the long term, in the short term, a little bit of downside. A little bit of downside, that's it. It's just going to be a little lower, a higher low overall throughout the space, and then we will continue to grow. I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to end the video there. Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Prepare yourselves. Don't scare yourselves. It's all going to be fine. This is crypto. This is normal. This is how it happens. Bye-bye.